YouTube? Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter. Today's episode, something a touch different. We have the Champions League semi-final. That is correct. Realistically, I haven't really given you guys too much Champions League games because we won it all the way back with AC Milan in Season 4, I'm pretty sure. We've got the thing open, we'll have a look. If you have been enjoying the content, do give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's go into it and dive into history here. As you can see, we won the UCL in Season 5, apologies, with AC Milan. We moved to them in Season 4. With that being said, realistically in the Champions League, nothing well of note. First round of the knockouts in the UCL with Monaco. We lost the final somewhere there. Newcastle made a run with it. Doesn't say here that we made a run of it at all. We won the UEL. We actually finished 5th on purpose, then left. That's right. And then we lost to the semi-final Real Madrid with Monaco as well in our last season, and the team that I thought could be as good as our AC Milan side. And I think this Dortmund side is better than this Monaco side. So I think we could get past Bayern, and we really should. With that too, last year we made the quarterfinals, and this year here we are. So there hasn't been a lot of Champions League to recap for you. And generally put, once you win it, it's not something you focus on. We always focus on the rest. But that's a quick snapshot of how everything's gone if you want to give it a pause. We've got Bayern Munich. I really wanted to give you guys a team somewhere else. I wanted some flavour or some flair. I wanted to go to England and play Liverpool. I wanted to go play City, or I wanted to go and play Barcelona or Ajax, who made it through. This is what the Champions League looks like this season. Bayern Munich and Dortmund, Liverpool and Ajax. You guys are probably wondering who's won the Champions League recently. Well, the save started here, and it started with Liverpool winning the save in the season that we're in right now, which I wish would be the thing, but never happened. Real Madrid, Bayern, Barca, Milan, me, Chelsea, Bayern. Barca won it 2 years in a row, 3 of the last 4. Real Madrid beating Newcastle in the final there as well. Newcastle been runners up a bit in this too, a couple of times, and a weird final. Spurs played Arsenal in the final, and Spurs won it. So yeah, Spurs had the Champions League and finished runners-up in 2033 and 2031. So there you go. It's been weird. If you want to pause and have a look there, go and have a look there too. Because we haven't really done too much in the Champions League, I think it's important to show you how we got here. Obviously last year, Champions League-wise, I'll just give you a quick recap here as well. Champions League. Beautiful. There we go. Last year, Champions League-wise, we made it actually out the top 8, beat Nantes, and then lost Liverpool, who absolutely smothered us, to be fair. Hopefully we don't get them in the final, but more than likely we would. And then here in the Champions League this season, we actually finished outside the 8, losing the Spurs in a very even game who were defending champions, losing the PSG, which cost us in the end as well. We actually played our former side Hippus, who's got Thomas Tuchel in charge, so probably no hope of us going back to Hippus and that romanticness of going back to the club we were originally with in Spain. We also beat Villa with that shock loss 1-0 away from home, but we dominated that game. And against Real Madrid, we did knock them out 2-1. I mentioned that at the end of the episode, but we did play very well and did well. It's been great. In terms of results, since we've last been here too, if we tick all competitions on, and we have got through the DFB Pokal final, in saying that, Werder Bremen, has to be said, their keeper in Vol put in one of the best keeping displays I've seen, especially while I've been here in Spain. He was Spain and Germany. He's been fantastic. We beat Hertha Berlin 2-1 with a fully rotated team, which me and my Twitch team have been saying that we think our second string side could nearly win the league. This proves it. We just beat a very good Hertha Berlin side who are 4th, 2-1 and dominated. So, yeah, and Foden didn't even get going either. So, but Castro, who I'm not starting today, has been banging him in, has got 7 goals in his last 4 games with an assist. But I ain't going to start him because Alfredo Real is the man that does the business usually. Now, with that being said, Bayern Munich away from home is good for us. Now, Bayern have had a pretty indifferent year, but in the Champions League, they've knocked out Barcelona after winning 4-1 and 1-0, and they had to take a penalty shootout against Norwich, so maybe lucky to get through. And they also beat Norwich in the phase there. They made it through the top 8, so there we go. With that being said, without further ado, we have beaten Bayern 5-0 this season at home. We drew 0-0 only a couple games ago, which was last episode where we won the league. We beat them home and away last year. The form guide points to a final. I have not been to a final of a European competition since I've lost the final to Napoli. And we're trying out this 4-2-3-1 with Newcastle, I believe. Yeah, I think that would have been the last time that we tried that. Or Monaco, maybe. But yeah, we haven't been to a Champions League or any European final since then. With that being said, your team is star-studded and outrageously good, and I am going to miss these boys. Heatley, Ernest, Aubrey and Linden are fantastic. Sergio, who is wanted by Real Madrid at the moment, is the guy playing wing back on support. I would love to play Giuseppe. We're never going to be able to use him again unless we sign him down the track. What a wing back. He's more of an inside forward, I will say that, but we've been playing him out here, and he has been fantastic. Absolutely elite, the club captain, never putting in a bad performance, and gets an assist or two and scores the occasional penalty. But with that being said, Blesser on the right, probably the last time we use him in this save as well. Manuzzi and Manev with Real. I mentioned it last episode. I'll mention it again. If we were to stay long-term at Dortmund, which we won't be, but, hypothetical, we've actually promised Manuzzi and Ernest that we would win the Champions League this year, or else they could leave. I don't want to leave Dortmund in a position that they have to sell their best players once I walk out the door. I want to leave the AOI up to what the AOI wants to do, of course. And a big part of this has been seeing how other teams go. We've had Raul Hippus, who have forever been part of Europe and been in the Champions League a lot since I left, which shows that we've run that club right. AC Milan have been in and around the mark, have been kind of the steady Eddie, Serie A. Newcastle's been a force to be reckoned with. They've made another couple of Champions League finals since I've left and never got there as well. West Ham very much pops up in Europe a lot. And in the Champions League. Those are the clubs that we've been at. And Monaco's been Monaco. Monaco have been fine as well. Look, we've left all the clubs that we've been at in a good spot. I want to leave this Dortmund side in a good spot. I want to leave this Dortmund side with a Champions League title, let's be honest. Because I think this team could potentially be better than the AC Milan side that we won the Champions League with as well. Now, let's go in and have a look at the Bayern Munich side, which we have done a lot. So we know a lot of their players, of course. But I just want to see who's starting. Drop Rivi up front, that's always a pain. Rosato is starting, which is fantastic, and De Ligt is only getting slower. This is why I always say that I think we're better than Bayern. The back four is slow and old, and Rosato is not particularly good. Alphonso Davies is still Alphonso Davies, and Adam Steele is at right back, which doesn't happen enough. He should be at right back a lot more. Musiala, Henry Pino's in there too. Rolden's not starting this time. Pascal is not. It's actually very similar to the side we beat 5-0 at home all those months ago. Look, away from home, Champions League's a lot different than League. It never replicates League form in the Champions League ever. It's a semi-final. Bayern have been here and steeped in history and probably deserve to go there again. I want to be there because I want to win it more than once in this save, which I thought I would have, to be fair, with the amount of talent that you manage. With that being said, let's see what happens. As long as we don't lose this game by a big mile, I think then we would beat Bayern at home. So a draw would probably be a very good result. I will say, and I say this all the time, it doesn't matter if you dominate Bayern or not. World-class sides, given moments to score, will generally look and score goals. The one thing I will do, because this is the first leg, is get gut stuck in off. I know that might be a little bit disingenuous in the press. I just don't want a red card in the first leg. We did that against Real Madrid when we were in charge of Monaco, and they slapped me 4-0 and it was tie over from that moment in the semi-final with them a few years ago. Without further ado, let's get into it. And 16 minutes in, it's a highlight here for Ernest to throw it into Blesser. And Ernest and Abreu and Haas, who's got a bit of a knock. Haas and Real will come off fairly early for Castro and probably Thuram or Vencido, depending on the game. Iramoto now finds Haas. Great ball to Blesser. He gets a touch in there, falls to Haas. Iramoto with a great ball out to Manev. Cuts it, Manuzzi, blocked and cleared. Could have been 1-0. Coulda, shoulda, wasn't. Good block in there from, I think it was De Ligt. 19 minutes played. 0-0. Big moment though. And that's the thing, we always look good against Bayern. We set up so well against them. I don't know why. I generally have a lot of issues against Bayern Munich, as most people do. In this save, I felt oddly confident against Bayern. Maybe stupidly, but we'll find out. Bless has picked up a knock. Haas is already down fitness. I'm going to leave him out there for now. My thinking was if we scored, I was going to bring Vencido on. Pascal's kind of on now as well. And here we are. Yop Rivi, Alphonso Davies. Yop Rivi, who's not in the 6-yard box, which is a good thing. That's a good ball. Cleared away by Linden, but only as far as Steele. Sergio wins. Manev now needs help. And we'll fall to Sergio. Hopefully we build out here. Manev now... we're getting pressed. You can come out the other side or go long. We barely get taken, in possession in and around. But here we go. Alphonso Davies. Effort's been well blocked. At least we can say both sides have had a shot blocked in and around the 6-yard box. And even though both sides should have scored, it's still 0-0. I think this maybe is a hallmark to get Haas off and Blesser. I was thinking about bringing Ben Seedorf on as a anchor man because we're in the away leg here, and I'm going to do it. I think I am going to do it. He's not 100% fit, so maybe I'll go to run, actually. Now he's not 100% fit. I am going to bring Foden on, who's been very poor of late, but I am going to bring him on as well. We are going to leave Rio out there for now, though, and then we'll bring him off. We'll bring Castro on in about the 65th minute. It's important to give Rio minutes to get him back to some fitness here as well. As it stands, though, very poor game of football, it has to be said. We have not been our usual selves. Aaron Pino backstick, cleared away by Real, who's a big boy. Musiala now is going to pick that one up. And we have not been our dominant selves, which we have been against Bayern. It's probably one of the worst displays we put in there. Fred's there, and Fred misses a massive chance for Bayern to go 1-0 up. I would take 0-0 right now, and at the moment, I'll be pretty happy with that as well. Real has now gone and lost fitness. We have not really created too much. Castro is going to come in. Up front, Ernest looks dead, and I actually trust Carlos with amazing amounts, and he loves setting up Castro, so complete wing back on attack. I will go after him. I am going to move into a full back on support for Sergio to hold that touch more, though, with that being said. Those are your changes there. We'll leave one more stoppage up our sleeve for other changes. Menev looks dead, but I don't want to bring him off here because he's a very good footballer. Manuzzi dead too. We look a touch tired, which has to be said. Pascal in the middle of the park. Usually plays centre-back for them. Roldan as well. Fred now. Goes on a run here. Felipe Anderson. Back to steal. He hits one. Deflected and in. We're down 1-0 to a right-back who scores a deflected goal. Never easy, is it, in the Champions League? Never easy in the Champions League. We've played really well. We've played really well. We've played really poor. And Bayern have played really well. So finishing 1-0 here may not be the worst thing for us. Going to get Menev off now for Roger Fowl and go for it a touch more. If we were to concede again here, this is going to be tie over. I'm going to get beat in the semi-final. Which, look, Bayern Munich have done not much this year and don't deserve to make a Champions League final. But they're about to, as things stand. If they were to score from this one here, it's going to be all she wrote. Great tackle, falls to him. They have scored a deflection and a tackle that falls to him. We're 2-0 down to Bayern Munich in the 79th minute. Wow. We have been better than Bayern this whole 3-4 year period that we've been here. And we're going to go lose to them in a semi-final in the Champions League. They've moved into this 4-2-2 system, and this is going to cost us. And if they score a third, it's game over. And look, this would be against the complete run of play of this entire season. And they're about to. This 4-2-2 has killed us. Sergio wins. A goal against the run of play would be great. Castro's got numbers. Vow's in. Roger Vow, you're one-on-one. You got... Oh, my God. He slowed down and allowed Rosato to get there. Just go at goal. Or play at the Foden. He misses a massive chance. That had to be a goal. As things stand, it's all but over, really. We lose 2-0. We've been dominant against Bayern in this entire save. And, well, here we are. I guess people will try to tell me, at least you didn't lose to him in the league. I would much rather have us just won the league normally, lost to Bayern this season, and then win the Champions League than going undefeated, which is definitely a thing. We lose. We were not great. We were horrid. And that is one of the worst displays that we've put in the entire save, being in charge here. I have not been dominated once by Bayern Munich in any of our games. It's the most we've been dominated, and we have our best squad possible. And this curse of me not being able to make a Champions League final, win the Champions League since AC Milan, may continue. However, we'll say this, we beat them 5-0 at home last time, and all we have to do is win by 2 goals, which I think we can do at home. So it's not over, but it's a precarious position. We'll see you guys in a second for the second leg. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Welcome back, YouTube. Bayern Munich, second leg, we are down 2-0. If there's any team that's going to knock them over from here, it is us. So we have to believe, and that is that. In terms of for us, one change to the starting 11. Castro's form has been too hard to ignore, and Real's recent injury is too hard to ignore. He scored again against Mainz, didn't really do too much, but then scored in the 95th minute. Because he scored, 5, 6, 8 goals in his last 5 or so games, we're going to go and put him up there and see what we can do. He also got an assist in the one game. He didn't score domestically, and yeah. Bayern Munich actually, by the way, lost to Nürnberg out of nowhere too. So let's go and have a look at what side they lined up with as well. Pascal and Rosato started. We were still at right back. Riemann played. Felipe Anderson. Plaza dropped Rivi in the back. Musiala got on the bench. Jeremy Pino. They slightly rotated, and definitely Heidel got to rotate in goals, which doesn't bother me too much. So they're going to be slightly fresh, but they might be a touch off it. We did have the extra day break, though, so that has to be said here too. Now, Sergio's picked up a training knock, but nothing major. He'll be back in 2 days and can play. Rest of the team, exactly how we lined up. Fully fit, we fully rotated, and we beat Mainz 4-0, so the undefeated streak is still on the line. We've got Hoffenheim and Heidemann to finish off, so 2 very winnable games to finish off the season and finish undefeated as well. But I really want to see if we can come back here, and let's go and find out. Last time we played him at home, we won 5-0. We need it again. Heidel's in still. Delit and Rosato with Alphonso Davies. Ivan Roldham and Riemann do start. Fred, Musiala, Junior and Pino. Wow, they've gone very experienced up front. That's good for us because that puts us in a very good position there. You got Rivy not playing. Might have picked up a knock in training. Ivan Roldan and Riemann have been the midfield we've dominated most. Rosato at the back, I always look at and say we can get at him. And I do think Delit's one we can get at as well. So, look, we need the first goal. We probably need to keep a clean sheet and we definitely need the first goal. If we score the first goal before half-time today, I believe. If this gives 0-0 at half-time or we go 1-0 down, I'm going to tell you right now that's going to be too hard. It's us in the yellow, it's Bayern in the red. We've had the wood over them in this entire save. However, the one time we meet in the Champions League, we're the team that are trailing. But here we go. Early highlight, Linden finds Sergio who drives. Needs some help out here and he goes and finds half a yard. Maybe wants to whip one in early. He does. Backstreet ball doesn't find anyone. Ernest knows how to whip a ball in. His ball in's cleared. Probing start and exactly what I want to see. And then we give the ball away to Musiala. Riemann turns. Blesser does well but falls back to him again. Heidel goes long. And Abru wins that header. Ernest now. Looks for Benev. Poor ball. And Iramoto wins that back though. In the secondary press. Sergio. Benev looked onside. In the area he goes. Effort deflected in. We do lead. 5 minutes in, 2-1. Five minutes in, 2-1. 1-0 on the night. We've got our early goal. I believe, you believe, we all believe. A slight little bit of luck as it deflects off the lid. Our first moment goes in. Wow. Now we've got 80 minutes to score one more goal to at least send it to extra time. If we concede, it's probably not good, but it's a poor one and Blessed clears, but only as far as Alphonso Davies. Haas will go out there and try to press to win it back. We don't. Musiala, Abru wins. Blessed just pumps it. Castro's a big enough boy to put some pressure on here. Rosato's not the greatest, but he sweeps up well, and Hedel is going to be able to play out with Delit. He finds Riemann. Rosato now. We squeeze like we normally do. Back to Hedel. It's a good squeeze, but Delit's going to have time to get free. Iramoto goes to the press. Fred does well. We're trying to get across. We haven't got across quick enough. Haas now in no man's land as well in that press. But Blesser's been everywhere, and there he goes again. Abru, Ernest, Blesser, needs runners. Ernest will keep. Can go back along to Abru. Iramoto drops in. Ball and a half to Castro. Goal scoring form. Castro with a chip. It's 2-0 inside 20. Castro with the chip. The man in form, our best player, even though Real generally scores more goals than him. He scored, it's 2-0, it's 2-2, and within 20 minutes of the second leg, we've overturned the 2-goal deficit. A touch, a volley, a chip, a goal, and it is 2-0, it is 2-2, as it stands right now. We've had 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals. That barely ever happens for us, ever. This is outrageous. Bayern Munich, to be fair to him, haven't played too bad here tonight. But they find themselves 2-0 down. Every shot we've had has been on target. That's odd. Very odd. But as it stands, approaching half-time, it's 2-2. We're 45 minutes away. I am delighted, boys. You keep playing the same way. The choice to play Castro has worked. Bless has had a very good game, even though he's on a 6.9. He's led the press very well. Delit finds Roldan. Poor ball, Menev. Needs to pick up the right pass. And they get Iramoto and Menev run into each other. This would be cruel. Ernest gets that back. Oh, it's a mistake. Heatley's done well. Get there, boys. Well done, Menev again. It was a mistake, but Heatley came at feet and won it. Was inches away from conceding and maybe inches away from a penalty and a red card. But what a save from the 100 mil, 690 mil keeper once his clauses are in. The Menev runs unreal. Menev, oh, great save there as well from Odessa, I think, in goal for them. Should be, not Odessa, Hedel. And there we go. Could have been 3-0, could have been 2-1. As it stands, it currently stays as it is. Sergio, though, he can whip a ball. Goes back a line. Linden, Iramoto, turns. Manuzzi, Blesser, hits just over the bar. 54 minutes played. It's been frantic. It's been intense. But as it stands, it's level. Blesser's picked up a knock. I am going to take him off. Foden doesn't leave the press as well, but he is quality, he is Phil Foden. And he did score last game out against Mainz and is starting to get some form back. They go back into this 4-2-2, which seems to hurt us a lot. And yeah, long throw. Bicycle kick goes wide from Musiala. None of that, please, mate. This 4-2-2 causes us issues, so I don't know what we do. I'm going to leave it as is because we've played so well. Felipe Anderson from a long way out hits the bar. Haas clears, headed back, Linden clears, and Ian Heatley claims as I stretch out my arms. 72 minutes played. Another highlight. They're starting to dominate. I might move into 4-3-3 as long as we don't concede here. Ball back stick. Menev wins. Menev, Sergio. Play through the press. Instead we look long to Castro, who doesn't win that one cleanly, but at least we relieve some pressure. Castro, what a charging down block. We still have Real on the bench as well if needed. Sergio, though, poor ball to Manuzzi. Menev wins it back. Castro, Foden, Phil Foden, the man we brought in for depth. We lead 3-0. It is 3-0. We've overturned it. We're ahead. I am going to move into 4-3-3 because their 4-2-2-2-2 causes us issues. Ernest, you're going to sit in. We're going to also go in and defend him with Sergio. Ernest is going to sit in as a wing-back on support as well. Iramoto is got a knock, so he's got to come off. Haas will go box to box. That's fine. Unai is going to go into here as an anchor man because I think that's his best role and just sit in. And I am going to get Marcus Thuram in as a Mazzala on support. There we go. Menev's going to go as an inverted wing-back on support and Foden's going to stay out there. Castro will go into complete forward to hopefully link things up as well. Going to move the time wasting to slightly. And there we go. Those are those few changes. We're going to leave a couple changes up our sleeve just in case for an equaliser and a potential extra time situation. But as things stand, Phil Foden scored and we've been outrageously good in the press tonight. Castro picks it up, great ball to Foden, and well, that is a finish and we lead 3-0. Yes, make the changes. They've gone 4-2-2, we're going to sit in now. We hold, we limit the space. As things stand, we're in the Champions League final. Are we there once more? A goal right now would seal it. Foden limps one out there. Cleared away. Menev doesn't win. De Ligt will go long. Will they hit us on the break? No. Ernest sweeps up. Vencedor. Ernest. Abreu. Finds Linden. We've got other numbers out the other side. Thuram is there. Menev now needs nut runners. Castro with a chance. Castro goes wide. Cuts it. Haas. We're in the Champions League final. Are you not entertained? From losing the first leg 2-0, we are leading 4-0. And well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is all she wrote. We're going to get Real out there so you can just say he played in the semi-final and doesn't get angry, of course. And we're going to get Haas off, who's been fantastic here. And I'm just going to bring in Kai Havertz, because why not? Because why not? Unless they score from kickoff, then I will not make these changes. And Mrs. Dell is in, and it falls to Heatley. That's fantastic. 90th minute play, time ticks away. It's a highlight really late doors here. Heatley claims. No one's at home here for Bayern apart from the keeper, but we're going to hold it up here, Heatley. You're a smart boy. Rolling out into the anchor man was on. We ignore that too. We go long. Thuram flicks on. Castro, Rosato does well. Hedel goes long himself. We're not going to overcommit numbers here. Abreu wins. Ernest. Havertz. Great ball to Foden. Foden makes a run. Foden. Phil Foden. Castro. Great save from Hedel to deny him. We beat them 5-0 in the league this year. And, well, we just missed a gilt-edged chance for 5-0 in the Champions League. We are going to play Liverpool in the final. The team that knocked us out in the quarterfinal last year, we are going to play in the final. And that is definitely going to be a YouTube episode, boys. That is definitely going to be a YouTube episode. Foden was offside. It's going to be all she wrote. Bayern Munich, they thought they had a chance. We gave them a sniff and then we tossed them to the side. And well, it is Dortmund 4, Bayern 0. We love it. And there we go. Awesome as that. No one out with major issues. We qualified for the Club World Cup, but we haven't played in that competition yet. And we've got Liverpool in the final, and the final was being played at the NSC Stadium in Ukraine. Outrageous. With that being said, boys, I will see you guys for the next episode. We have Wolfsburg in the DFB Pokal. It matters, but it doesn't really. I'll probably go with like the second end of that game, unless it, if it gets really tight or something, or the last 5 minutes to say we won it. Because next episode, it's all about that big dance again for big old ears. We've been to the Champions League final before. We won it with AC Milan, and well, we're going to have a shot with Dortmund. Till then, I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.